smart and my...
He told me enough.
No, I.
Here's Chuck.
Let's do a fucking break. Get this. Cartridge belong. Yeah, this Uwe Boll, you fuck. Fucking Postal. Fucking trash. Where you fucking belong. Fuck this disc. What? Whatever, guys. It's just $3 lousy from a flea market. So I could give us a fuck. Hey everyone, it's Don G. Corleone here, and I am here with a brand new epic rant, which you can tell by this intro. It's gonna be, of course, for another, yeah, here we go again, with yet another fucking Uwe Boll video game film. Yeah, those are my favorite kind of films. Always love getting to touch an Uwe Boll shitfest. My god, I've touched him 2 times on my channel. I'm glad at least I haven't gotten a stupid boxing match yet. Because I better be careful, he'll probably be watching this, and he's probably going to be ready to do a boxing match because I didn't like his shitty movies. Like, the only films he's done that were worth a shit were the first 2 Rampage movies and Assault on Wall Street. Were the only films that are actually tolerable he's done. Wanna know why? Because they're not video game films, and they're because they're more self-aware, fun action flicks, and they're not video game garbage. Almost every other film he does sucks. The Blood Rain films are shit. The Name of the King films are shit. And I don't know how the first one got Jason Statham involved. Yeah, I don't know how the hell Uwe Boll can even afford all these actors in his fucking movies, apparently. This one gets a lot of actors I like, and I'm going to get to in a bit. House of the Dead, the first one, one of the first video game film he did, the film that made him notorious for what a shitty director he is, and that movie fucking sucked, and I hated House of the fucking Dead. Alone in the Dark, I ranted on that like 2.5 years ago, and that's easily one of the worst fucking movies ever made. And then he did a slasher, cannibal Holocaust Serbian film-like movie called Seed. I actually hated Seed. Yeah, like, of course, like Uwe Boll, we totally want to watch real-life PETA footage of dogs getting kicked and tortured. And we have to go into, and then, of course, the ending of Seed goes into Wrong Turn 5 territory, where the one character who has nothing to do with anything is the one that has to pretty much die the worst death. Off-screen. But the sequel reveals she had died. She became the killer's bride, and then at the end of the sequel, gets killed. So yeah, cool. Uwe Boll is a shitty director. I hate his fucking films. He seems like an asshole in real life, because anytime one critic bashes him, he'll go beat the shit out of them in a boxing match, because the guy can't handle a single criticism and can't take any fault for what he does. And acts like his films are great, when they've always fucking bombed, and no one goes to see them. Nobody gives a shit about your movies at this rate. Like, if you think every movie you do keeps getting bad reviews, Bull, don't you think you should realize what you do is the problem? And why did you are not allowed to direct any more video game films now? And then he briefly retired in 2016, opened up a restaurant I never got to visit that closed down. Now he's back in films for some weird reason. We haven't seen him direct a new movie since, but sure hope he doesn't direct one at all. Would be better about that. Anyways, guys, this video, Epic Rant, is going to be for none other than either 2007 or 2008, whatever the fuck this came out. Postal. Yeah, the time he tried to do a comedy movie. So, what is Postal about? Well, apparently Postal is not based off a horror game series. This time around, Postal is based off a controversial video game series. One that's obviously never saw the light of day again. And this movie, you can clearly see why it never did. Anyway, what's the plot of this film? Well, our plot is pretty much this regular Joe who tries to literally seek employment, but then he ends up becoming an asshole who embarks on a violent rampage, teams up with his idiot cult leader named Uncle Dave, and I wonder why he's named Dave, and we'll get to that in a bit. Then our first act is to literally steal these dick dolls from an amusement park that even the kids play with. But they learn that the Taliban are literally they learn that these terrorists are planning the same heist as well, and so chaos ensues, and now the Postal dude not only has to take on terrorists, but political figures as well. So how did this one get made? Well, apparently, the German fan club for Postal contacted Uwe Boll, and they offered the possibility of the game being adapted into a film done by him of all damn people. He got intrigued by the game's premise and blatant political incorrectness, so Bull contacted Running with Scissors, President Vince D'Aristino, and sold the film rights on the condition that he would be involved with the script and the production. And then DeCiro and Postal 2 director Steve Wick pitched a much grittier, darker version of the Postal story, but Bull's a fucking idiot and rejected it, because he wanted to turn it into a comedy, to use the film as a platform for political satire and revenge against people who protested his movies. Dude, your movies are fucking shit. Stop defending every single one of them. Why do you think no one likes your shitty movies? Moron. And he ended up writing the script with assistant director Brian C. Knight, and they worked on all of Bull's previous video game adaptations. And get this, guys. Postal got filmed from September 13th to October 2006 in BC, like all of Uwe Boll's movies. And then, of course, ironically enough, Postal opened a day after King of Crystal Skull, and Bull jokingly claimed that his film would destroy King of Crystal Skull at the box office. God, could you be any more fucking stupid? Who's gonna go see a shitty Uwe Boll movie over a more hyped Indiana Jones sequel that people would actually rather be watching over a shitty video game movie? Like, yeah. Pretty much that. And promos even had Vern Troyer dressed up as Indiana Jones. So yeah, once Postal got released to the rest of the world, all like every other, seriously, like all his movies upon release, it failed again. Like every movie he fucking has done. Every video game film, all of them bomb. It grossed less than 1% of its budget. You want to know something shocking? This somehow had a budget of $15 million and only made around like 900,000 or somewhere around the 1,000 mark back. Fuck. That's not a shock. Because it was barely released in any screens. Because I don't think even theaters wanted to screen this shit. Sorry, I'm looking out the window, guys. Fucking snowfall going on. Anyway, I'm wasting time. As for my reaction, how is this film simply put? Very, very bad. And no, not like the usual Uwe Boll hilariously bad at times, which at least like House of Dead Alone in the Dark are. No, it's like, even though this is a comedy film and not a horror movie, it's plain bad and unfunny. Literally, the plot is this man leaving a terrible life because apparently he has a past criminal record, he can't get a job, has an over-obese cheating wife, and he has to go to this uncle of his with a plan to steal a truckload of dick dolls that actually turn out to have the bird flu. And but then also terrorists have designs on stealing the toys. And what turns out is just under 2 hours of incomprehensible sex and violence. Like, first things first, like, I don't know how the hell Uwe Boll keeps getting his money to make all these crappy movies and make no return. And knowing he makes crappy movies, like, how in the world did he get all these actors in his movies? Like Jason Statham, Ron Perlman even, the late Ray Liotta even. I think of a few of their films. Like Jason Statham was in Name of the King. I don't know how he can even afford these people. Yeah, like, the worst things first, to make things worse, this movie actually stars a whole bunch of 90s people. A bunch of underrated legends. Like, this stars Zach Ward from guess what movie, guys? From fucking Tremors. Zach Ward was in A Christmas Story, was in Tremors. In the 2000s, this dude, Zach Ward, dude, was this the best shit you could get in the 2000s? Of all the things that agent decided to get you in the 2000s for a film, this is the best one your dumbass agent chose. Nothing else that's actually good. Same with Dave Foley. I don't know. Same with Dave Foley. I can't believe there are any agents actually thought this would be a great film for them to work on together. What's worse, guys? That's not the only two in this movie. No, that's J.K. There's also J.K. Simmons from the Spider-Man trilogy makes a brief appearance in this for some weird reason, and also the late Vern Troyer is also in this movie. Now, guys, before I get into that, rest in peace, Vern Troyer. I'm heartbroken and sad he's gone. The guy was a legend. It's very sad he got taken away from us too early. He did not deserve to be taken away from us that early. Rest in peace. Like, Vern Troyer made appearances in Jingle All the Way, and also in Austin Powers as Mini-Me, Dr. Evil's little sidekick. And even Eddie Furlong all these actors somehow are able to be afforded in this movie, like, probably getting the money illegally, because he's known to make tax loopholes. But yeah, back to this movie. I'm done wasting time. I'll get to more of the stuff in a bit. The movie is just shit. There's a good reason, like, why do you think Uwe Boll had a petition for him to stop making movies from franchises people liked? House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark, Blood Rain, or Living Proof. All the Blood Rain movies. Somehow Blood Rain got sequels. House of the Dead got a direct-to-DVD sequel. Alone in the Dark got a direct-to-DVD sequel. And somehow they all get direct-to-DVD sequels for some weird reason. Like, the jokes are not funny. The only ones who think they're funny are middle-aged are middle schooler kids who've probably heard jokes like this 1,000 times before. And they're done better in South Park. The acting is decent. Or people try at least. Some people do try. I mean, Zach Ward did kind of try at least with this performance. Dave Foley tried with the best he got, even if he had to work with shitty material. But you only blame the script that Uwe Boll wrote for that. It's like, you wonder if they're even using a script. Like, here's how this movie begins. Like, we begin with a prologue showing two terrorists from the Flight 11 hijackers during the 9/11 attacks. They're literally... We get a 9/11 joke to start this damn movie, and they're debating over virgins they can get as reward for carrying out the attacks. But they go for a long debate, they contact Layden, find out the exact amount, and he tells them that there's not enough virgins to go around. And when they hear this, the hijackers decide not to do the attack, and they decide to go to the Bahamas instead. But the passengers start to attack them, literally, because we need to have references to Flight 93. That one hijacked aircraft during 9/11, or tried to do a Seltzer Freebird parody of United 93. And then the terrorists tried to reason with the passengers. Why the hell are passengers going to listen to you guys? And no avail. The plane flies into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. So basically, Uwe Boll's trying to make a false version to make it look like the passengers were the ones who killed the people in the towers. So, I don't know how people would find something like this funny, because this was a real thing. I'm sorry, guys. 9/11 jokes are not funny in my eyes. Even I would not laugh at something like Flight 93 or 9/11. I don't find that humorous or hilarious. I don't find a real tragedy where people actually died hilarious to joke about. And then we cut to 5 years later. We get to this town called Paradise in Arizona. And then we meet our postal dude who gets mocked at a job interview, kicked out of his unemployment office, and he discovers that his morbidly obese wife is cheating on him with many other townsmen. Then he gets more than a little angry, and now he has to get enough cash to leave the crappy town he has to live in. That's where our movie begins. Like, this movie tries hard to shock you, but it doesn't know anything about comedy because Uwe Boll is not funny. You laugh because someone says a bad word. Like, any day, like, people say bad words every single day you go around. Bad words are a normal vocabulary. How is it funny? Everyone says a bad word every day, all the time. Then this movie's gonna be for you. Other people would rather have a creative joke. To understand what the movie's about, you literally just think of Pulp Fiction's big storylines. Just toss in more and more bizarre images. Start off your movie with a 9/11 joke of terrorists arguing over virgins, then calling your leader. They get dissatisfied, decide to go to the Bahamas. But of course, the pilot decides, but Uwe Boll wants to make it look like the passengers caused the attacks. And make them crash into the World Trade Center. So it'll make it look like the passengers murdered a bunch of people. Which is not even how it went. And you're like, you're taking it too seriously. Yeah, because I have a fucking brain. Okay? Okay, back to after we meet our postal dude, we get to our other main character, who's named Dave. Yeah, believe it or not, 90s people, played by obvious Dave Foley. Because it's creative, get it? Because the character's name's Dave, so that was probably why Uwe Boll got Dave Foley to play him, because the character's name is Dave. That's very creative. Very creative casting. Because their actor's name's Dave, let's have him play the character Dave. Yeah, so in Dave Foley's introduction scene, this other companion of his comes into his room where he's just had an orgy with 4 girls, and the companion makes him have the girls leave. And then guess what, guys? You want to know the best part? When Foley gets up, we actually get the unwanted pleasure of seeing his bare dick and balls, and then goes to take a shit in the toilet for like 5 fucking minutes. And this pal then tells him that he owes the IRS $1 million. Yeah. In this whole scene, guys, all you people from the 90s who grew up with news radio and many other projects Foley was in, you get to see the guy's bare dick. Even though we don't want to see that, or we don't want to see him taking a shit. But Uwe Boll's like, ha 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 ha, you guys are going to see that anyway. Even though we don't want to. Because for some reason Uwe Boll likes to make us suffer. So after we get to see Dave Foley's gross-ass scene that nobody wants to see, we see the postal dude again, and he's still being denied jobs, and he's treated like shit at the unemployment office. So he goes to Dave, and we find out that Dave's his uncle. And so with the help of Uncle Dave's other companion we saw earlier, who's named Richie, apparently, and we get these big-breasted, scantily clad Nazi cult members, the dude devises a plan to hijack a shipment of 2,000 dick and ball dolls. And a rare sought-after plush toy resembling this giant which are pretty much, yeah, they resemble a bare dick. And Uncle Dave wants to sell them online because their prices got reached as high as $4,000 a doll. Like anyone's gonna pay $4,000 for a bloody cheap doll. Like they can't, and because like 4,000 times 2,000, that must be, yeah, but that's a lot of money. Because they can't even figure out math. Here's my answer. 4,000 times 2,000. It's 80 million. You fucking idiots. Like, they even joke, guess what, guys? There's even joke that the crew died when the dolls were found, but the crew never survived. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny that a bunch of people died selling this stuff. That's so funny. Wow. Then unbeknownst to these two, Bin Laden and his group of terrorists who were hiding in paradise after the 9/11 attacks, and they were under the watchful eye of, believe it or not, guys, President Bush for some weird reason. Somehow, yeah, we need to have the president in this movie be friends with a real-life murderer terrorist. And after that shipment, they're also after the dolls for different reasons. They want to outdo the catastrophe of 9/11, so they plan to instill the dolls with the bird flu and distribute them to children. And then the group then meets at the shipment's destination, which is this German-themed amusement park called Little Germany, because it can't be anything creative. And then you get a fight between the postal courier Vince Desi and postal director and park owner Uwe Boll. And then Boll gets shot, confesses he hates video games. Yeah, clearly we can already tell you hate video games, and you're still making video game movies for some weird reason. Sparks this massive shootout between the cult, the terrorists, and the police, and it gets the deaths of innocent children. Yeah, because Uwe Boll thinks children, because it's not a first for Uwe Boll, since apparently he must think killing children is awesome, shocking, and now he must think it's funny for this. No. Like, how is any of this shit funny? I have not, like, while I was watching this film, I didn't laugh one bit at a single thing. And the dude except for one scene I'll get to later. The dude and the cult are able to get away with both the shipments, and of course we have the opening day guest that's Vern Troyer's fictional self, because somehow Uwe Boll must have made Vern Troyer's agent be in this. Like, honestly, once again, rest in peace Vern Troyer, but honestly, I hope Vern Troyer, Dave Foley, and Zach, no, probably not, because Zach Ward didn't get much else, and Dave Foley all didn't get much else after this, but I really hope that for this, Vern Troyer and J.K. Simmons fired their fucking agents after doing this. I really hope they did. After having to do this embarrassing shit movie. They get pursued by Al-Qaeda and a mob of angry citizens. Yeah. Sorry guys. Movies depicting real-life terrorists and as jokes, and as several level attacks are as jokes, are a disgrace. And this movie is among that. Like, I'm surprised this film was even released to the public. But given that Uwe Boll has literally no talent, he thought people would think this is funny and thought he could do comedy, and it's clear that no one found this funny at all. It has a 4.5 out of 10 on IMDb, has a 9%. Yeah, of course people will find this funny. And he thought Postal was his most important movie, like, you think, because apparently it's supposed to be some satire look at religion, war on terror, American consumerism, and action movies, but Bull is not even smart enough or good enough storyteller, or even funny at all to pull off this trick. There's no wit to the comedy, the extended satire should just give offense, and this stuff that's aimed at the satirical targets, and it does offend people, not for the funny reasons. Then after the chase, they return to their compound, it got overtaken by the terrorists, so the dude, Dave Foley, and the rest of the group, they sneak into the compound's underground bunker. Apparently, Dave Foley's like, you could have just told me that my room had a bunker. Well, okay, to be fair, that line, he does kind of have a point. Like, no one tells him there's a bunker in there. And then, of course, that other companion, Richie, reveals that he has to fulfill a prophecy of Uncle Dave's little fictional Bible that gets bought throughout the film to bring about the extinction of humanity. As per Uncle Dave's Bible, the event literally initiates the apocalypse or the rape of a tiny entertainer by 1,000 monkeys. And guess what, guys? We have to literally watch Vern Troyer get thrown into a pit of chimpanzees and get raped by them. Then after we have to see Vern Troyer get raped by monkeys, Richie then shoots and finally kills Uncle Dave. Although, I wonder if, I can bet Dave Foley was probably trying to get out of being in this movie, so Uwe Boll probably wrote his character to be killed off. Probably because Dave Foley probably didn't want to be in this shit. Like, Dave Foley even sounds bored this whole movie. Like, if he didn't want to be in this shit, I don't even blame him at all. Even I wouldn't want to be in a shitty Uwe Boll movie. So he probably wanted to be. So he probably wanted his character to be killed off so he wouldn't have to be in this film anymore. And so then he imprisons the Postal dude. But the Postal dude escapes the compound with weapons, wages a one-man war against the terrorist, his uncle's murderer, his cheating wife, the police, and the many people that want him dead. So, he teams up with the coffee lady that he encountered earlier, and they both proceed to kill all the terrorists. and the bloody thirsty townspeople, and the remains of the now mad cult, his wife, and her multiple lovers, which are literally 2 police officers who bully this disabled guy and steal his money a lot, or even imprison him in their garage. I also forgot to mention that, but it's not important. In the midst of the shootout, Bin Laden then gets wounded, but he escapes to a payphone and calls the president for help, so the president sends a helicopter to save him, and they plan for the two to rendezvous. Like, there's just so much going on, so much weird stuff going on you don't enjoy watching, and all through it's just Boll being offensive to whatever will come his way. The dolls are scrotums, ha 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 ha, kids get shot, ha ha ha, that's cool and edgy. Osama goes to a seminar about effective leadership, and guess what? He even tries to buy books in one scene, but because he's a terrorist and his assets are frozen, ha 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 ha. That's so funny. This Bin Laden can't buy books because he's a wanted fugitive. Why would a wanted fugitive go buy books if their bank accounts are frozen? And also, you know what's even funnier? We get to see Dave Foley bare-ass naked. Ha 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 ha. No. None of us want to see that. Like, seriously, we especially don't want to see that for 5 minutes. Or especially don't want to see him take a shit in the toilet for 5 minutes. On top of that, like, there's barely anything recognizable as their structure, and everything that tries to be funny ends up so witless and unfunny. The movie drags forever, it's 103 or 114 minutes fucking long, and literally, it feels like you're watching this for 2 hours. One of the most boring 2 hours of a comedy I ever sat through. Like, it's just bit after unfunny bit. It seems to have no end because it's not building up to anything. And as soon as you get to literally see rest in peace Bern Short get raped by chimpanzees to fulfill some fake Bible prophecy, that's a sign that this movie. No, I can't even say the words in this because how bad this film is. What would I give a fuck? Like, and guess what, guys? You want to know how the movie ends? How this whole disastrous, shitty movie ends? The Postal dude turns on the radio after the whole shootout, learns that the president blamed the day shootout's explosions on China and India, and he decides to kill both countries and let all the people in those countries die. But, of course, and so they launched the missiles to kill a bunch of people. But in retaliation, the survivors launched more missiles towards the USA as well. So although innocent people there get to die. And all the missiles are scheduled to hit their targets in just 2 minutes. The Postal dude and the coffee lady drive away. And our last shot is not even them. We literally get to see the president, a real president, and a real life killer, or a real life terrorist murderer, Bin Laden, skip through a field together, holding hands, hand in hand, leaving America to die. They're like, this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Yeah. Sure. No. Oh my god. And guess what, guys? The missiles, the mushroom clouds explode, and all the missiles hit, and the country and the world is destroyed. Roll the credits. Yeah, guys, I'm not kidding. That's where the movie ends. A real president and an actual terrorist who killed a bunch of people and almost tried to destroy our world or take over it and start a whole bunch of wars, befriend each other, and they run away and they leave everybody to die. That's a funny ending. And yeah, sorry guys, there's a difference with funny and not funny. And you want to know what's worse, guys? Like, I'll get to that part in a bit. Like, that's your story right there. A president leaves his whole world to die, befriends a murderer, a real-life murderer, and trots away into a field, and the nukes just start hitting, and it's supposed to be happy. They play happy music over it to make it look like it's such a happy ending. How is this a happy ending? Thousands of people, the world is dead, and we're supposed to be clapping at that, and we're supposed to laugh at that? Why is that even possible? You know what's worse, guys? One critic actually called this live-action South Park. No. Whoever did that, leave South Park out of this. South Park does not deserve to be compared to an Uwe Boll comedy. South Park is actually funny. South Park doesn't overforce its 9/11. South Park kind of jokes at 9/11, but it's not over obvious, and it's not done in insultingly ways possible. And like when South Park did 9/11 stuff, they still portrayed it kind of seriously at times. Like the beginning of the one episode revolving around it, the kids are having to wear gas masks at school and stuff, and Stan's mom is actually watching the news in fear, so they still somewhat portray 9/11 seriously. They don't joke about a bunch of dead people. So even South Park wouldn't go that far. Times. Like, South Park even has characters I enjoy, and characters that actually know how to be funny. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they're actually funny, and they actually do a good job at comedy, unlike Uwe Boll. They're one of the few comedians that are actually still funny in today's world. Trey Parker and Matt Stone are actually funny today, unlike a lot of other people today. Is there one good now? Is it as bad or worse than House of the Dead or Alone in the Dark? Well, it's slightly above those two because of one scene I will admit did get a chuckle. And one scene I did kind of like is why it's slightly above a majority of his bad films. One scene I will admit I did love was, like, I will admit, the one thing I laughed about the scene is during the Uwe Boll cameo. It's when Uwe Boll is interviewed in the carnival scene. And I laughed only about his dumbness and nothing else. And I will admit, I did like when the game creator shows up and says, "What the fuck have you done to my game, Postal? What are you talking about? The movie's good." Yeah, of course he's like that with all of his movies whenever anybody gets mad at him. And apparently people even say the game is shit, so what's even the difference? And then he gets shot by and then they get in a fight. Like, I kind of would have liked this. I would have liked to see even more though if it had been the House of the Dead creator, that Alone in the Dark creator. They all come out. They're all mad at him ruining their fucking games. Yeah, them all getting mad. They're getting payback on Bull for destroying the games they created with the shitty movies he did. But that's about it. It's like, then again, like, I don't know why this scene could have been the House of Dead and Alone in the Dark creators instead of this game's creator, because even the games for this movie suck. Like, yeah, so in the end, I don't care if and I don't get why people like this movie, each their own, but guys, explain what was so good about this movie. Explain it in the comments. Explain why you guys think I'm taking things too seriously, and if you think I don't take a joke, which none of the jokes were funny at all in this movie. I didn't laugh one bit. I almost fell asleep watching this. Nobody's likable. Nothing here's funny. The cinematography and dialogue are trash. And the ending is a fucking embarrassment. Honestly, I don't know how Zach Ward from Tremors of all movies, for one of my favorite movies of all time, as if Bolt just casted Zach Ward to piss me off. I like Tremors, and it's clearly to piss off a lot of Tremors fans. He probably had Zach Ward playing this just so he could piss off the fans of Tremors. Like, Tremors is one of the best movies ever made, and just had to get Zach Ward dragged into this mess. That Dave Foley, who nice people remember from news radio, I remember him more from films like Sky High and Bug's Life. Don't know how he got dragged into doing this as well. And I don't know how the hell J.K. Simmons of all actors got dragged into this. But yeah, sadly, Foley and Ward just never got roles after this. And honestly, J.K. Simmons still did. Vern Troyer, we never saw again, sadly, before. To be fair, sadly, he kind of went to retirement and then sadly got taken away from us, which is tragic. But honestly, I hope J.K. Simmons fired his agent after doing this. But all in all, guys, I could go on and on. This is already too damn long. I'm done talking to Postal. Yeah, I'm done. I'm sick of talking to Postal. In the end, like nearly all of Uwe Boll's movies, Postal is also horseshit, and it shows that even Boll can't be funny at all. Anyways, guys, that's it for my epic rant on Postal, and if you're wondering how I'm going to rate Postal, here's how I'm going to rank this movie. So overall, guys, only watch the scene where Boll gets attacked by the game creator, because that's the only watchable part of this film, and to avoid the rest of this embarrassment, no doubt. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Postal, I'm going to give Postal a 1 out of 10. There we go, guys. That's it for my epic rant of Postal. Glad that's done. I need a water. Yeah. Boy. So what's going to be next? Well, we sadly have another rant to do. And that's going to be for the remake of a sci-fi film I reviewed this week. But until then, guys, I got to end this now. So that'll be it for this epic rant. Thank you all for watching. If you like this and want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.